He cares about you. And yet, you're going to sit right there and get them all sick. You're going to breathe your sick all over them. All right. Converting general form to slope-intercept form. Now, first of all, you need to be reminded of what slope-intercept form is. What is that? Y equals mx plus b. Yes? Describe that to me. How do you know you're in slope-intercept form? As long as there's no wrapper left over there, Mitchell, you can eat whatever you want. How do you know you're in slope-intercept form? What are the keys? How do you know you're in slope-intercept form? What would the equation look like? Just like that. Y would be by itself, x would have a coefficient, and there would be a constant. Can this constant be a fraction? Sure it can. Can the slope be a fraction? Yes. Can there be anything else over here? Yes. Give them out. You shouldn't be giving out too many if you're giving them out to people that are Christmassy, or are you just giving them out to anyone?
Like, it depends.
It depends? All right.
Kids are in the
I get one because I am wearing a Christmassy tie and my Christmas bauble, which makes me a Christmas tree. But I couldn't put a star on my head. Next year I'm going to add a star to my head. Candy cane. Are these real, actual pepperminty candy canes, or are they some crap fruit-flavored waste of time candy cane? They better be pepperminty ones. I hate all those stupid fruit-flavored, root beer flavored, tutti fruity garbage. Right? Am I right? Cookies and cream. Candy canes have a flavor. Candy cane, damn it. Feel free to leave extras for the favorite teacher. No? Yeah! Woo! Full size. Yeah. Are those Christmassy earrings? Oh. Oh. All right. Did you not get one? Here. I didn't actually touch it. Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's also not the night before Christmas. I'm still reciting the poem. We're well aware it's night for you. Jordan, have you seen the movie Summer School? So has Alyssa. First of all, that's the reason I became a teacher. Secondly, you remind me of that kid that sleeps through. I hope you are not doing what he did with his evenings. If you do not remember what that kid did with his evenings, you need to watch the movie again. All right. So, this is done, yeah? We all are come to a slope-intercept form, right? Right? Okay, now, I'm going to write out... Wow, what is happening? I'm going to write out what general form looks like, okay? General form is as follows. Now, please notice, general form has some similarities to slope-intercept form and some differences, right? What is the similarity between general form and slope-intercept form? He waited patiently. There's a constant in both of them. Please notice, that is just a constant, and that is just a constant. Agreed? Excellent. Are there any other similarities? There's a coefficient with x, and there's a coefficient with x. Good. Are there any other similarities? 30 of you can't tell me one more thing that's the same between this and this. Thank you. There is an X and an X and a Y and a Y. Agreed? Excellent. What are different? Alyssa. Excellent. The difference is Y has nothing in front of it, but that Y has something in front of it. Excellent. What else? Everything equals 0, and in this one, everything equals Y. Another difference. Everybody agree? Okay. So now that you see there's a lot of similarities, but only a couple of differences, it shouldn't be too hard to work between the two, should it? But you have to know some rules. General form has a positive value for A. That has to be positive. Okay? Everybody cool? That's 1. 2, general form has no brackets. Forgot the C in brackets. No brackets. And 3, no fractions. And if I have no fractions, then am I allowed decimals? Yes or no? No. No fractions or decimals. But otherwise, you guys see how similar they are, yes? So let's work with that. This is in what form? That is general. I want slope-intercept form. So what do I need to do to this thing in blue to make it look like the thing in yellow? Get Y by itself. How do I get Y by itself? We've already done this a ton. You just didn't know that this was called general form. Now you do. So, Carlin, what's the first thing you would do? You would move the 2Y, because that would put Y by itself, wouldn't it? And it's easier. The less stuff you have to do, the better off you're going to be, right? So when I move that negative 2Y, what happens? It becomes positive 2Y. And what's left on the left? 3x plus 8. Is this this? Is it? Not quite. What do I need to do? Divide by 2. Where else? The 8 and the 3. Finish this off. I have 3 over 2x plus what? 4 equals what? Is this now the same as this? Yes, even though the y is on the other side, y is isolated and has nothing in front of it. Could we now graph this? Of course we can. Where would we go? 4 on the y-axis. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then what? Up 3, 1, 2, 3, and 2 to the right. And just to make sure, I'd go back to the start and go down 3 and 2 to the left. There's my line. Is everybody cool? There's nothing to it except algebra. Everybody good? All right, now I'm going to do something a little weird to you. Does that look similar to something you have seen but not the same? Sure it does. This is what we call, believe it or not, it gets a name too. Standard form. And standard form is the same as general, except it's ax plus or minus by equals c. The c is just by itself. Otherwise, it's exactly the same thing. Everybody good? Yeah? Okay. So if I want to graph this using slope-intercept, what does it have to look like? Mx plus b. Get y by itself. So I'm starting with 3x minus 4y equals 8. Now how many things have to move? 2. I got to move the y, and what else? And the 8. So the y's go in there, and the 8's go in there. And I get 3x, what? Minus 8 equals 4y. Now what? Divide it by 4, and I get 3/4 x minus 2 equals what? Y. Can I graph that? Yeah or no? Great. Where do I go? 2 down, make the dot, and then what? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, and I make my line. Can everybody do it? Okay, so now you have been given general form, slope-intercept form, point-slope form, right? Well, yeah, standard form is general form. Now, each of those have a good use, yes? General form is real easy to find the intercepts, both of them, because one drops out, right? So general form is great for intercepts. Slope-intercept form is great for slope, and if you need the y-intercept, which is really good if you're only doing real life stuff, right? Because the y-intercept is when x starts at 0. And real life, x has to start at 0, yes? And point-slope form is good for what? A line going anywhere, right? Everybody good? All right. So here I have a standard form, yes? 5x plus 2y equals 10. Now, as soon as you see intercepts, a bunch of you are probably going to say, oh, slope-intercept form, it says intercept. But intercepts covers not just y, it also covers x. And this one is good for that. Because what's going to drop out? One of them, right? If I want the x-intercept, what happens to y? It drops out because the x-intercept is x comma 0. If I want the y-intercept, 0 comma y, what drops out? The x. So I end up with 5x equals 10. And over here I end up with what? 2y equals 10. Solve those. What's x? 2. What's y? 5. Graph it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2. Shloop. Ease, bees, lemon squeezy, right? And all of a sudden, all that grade 7, 8, 9 algebra helps us a lot, doesn't it? Everybody cool? What? General and standard. Okay, now, write down an example of the equation of a line in each form. Okay? So I want you guys to write, now please notice it just says any line, yes? Right? So if you're doing any line, are you doing this with letters or are you doing this with numbers? Letters, because it's supposed to cover anything, right? So split this down the middle, and over here, do it with letters. And then on the right side, I'm going to give you some information. And you're going to do the same thing over here for a specific line. Okay? Everybody ready? You guys, while you're working out the letters, see if you can remember it. I'm going to give you information over here. Okay? Go. what is slope-intercept? What is point slope? What is general? And I'm not even going to bother with standard. Oh, heck. Might as well. Doesn't take any time. What's slope-intercept? Y equals mx plus b. Excellent. What's point slope? Now, some people like to forget about the 2. They just do y minus x1 or y minus y1. That's fine. General form? And standard? Not 0. C. Everybody cool? All right, now I've given you a specific line. So how am I going to do slope-intercept when I know that? What did those 2 pieces of information tell me in slope-intercept form? What can I use out of there to help me with that? I can find the slope. How? Right. So the slope equals y2 minus y1. So do that. What is y2 minus y1? So what is it? Yeah? Positive 2. Everyone agree? Everybody agree? So what does that allow us to write now? Y equals 2x plus b, correct? Everyone agree? Because the only thing we don't know is the y-intercept, right? But what do we have there and there? What did I just highlight in green? I highlighted an x and a y, didn't I? What's that? What's that? What's that? What's that? So what can I do with any of those x's and y's and that equation? Plug them in. Which one do you want to use? 3 and 7? Okay. What goes in instead of y if I am using these 2? 7 equals 2 times what? 3 plus b, right? What's 2 times 3? So 7 equals 6 plus b. What do I do with the 6? Subtract it. What's 7 take away 6? 1 equals b. What was missing? B. What does B equal? So what do I have? E's, B's, lemon squeezy, right? Was any of that new? Not any of it, was it? It's grade 8 algebra. It's subbing in x's and y's, which we knew those were x's and y's. And it's slope-intercept form. And it's that. Do you have to memorize slope-intercept form? No, it's on your data booklet. Do you have to memorize y2, y1 over x2, x1? Nope, that's in your data booklet. Did you learn how to do algebra at some point in your math career? Nothing new, the whole unit, is there really? A couple of new names for things, but that's it. once I have slope-intercept form, once I have a slope, what's point-slope form? Don't I have x's and y's? I have 2 points to start from, don't I? So y minus what? 7 equals, what's the slope? 2, x minus 3. Or y what? Plus 5, because it's minus 5, equals 2x plus 3. Are both of those okay? Yep. And then general form, which I'll do in gray. I already have y equals 2x plus 1. General form, the x has to be positive, and I'm not allowed any fractions. Is x positive? Excellent. Are there any fractions? No. So all I have to do is move everything to one side of the equation, correct? So 2x is already positive. Should I touch them? No. 1 is already over here, so what has to move? 2x plus or minus y? Minus y plus 1 equals 0. There's general form. And then what would I do for standard form? Which I'll do in green. What would I do for standard? What's the only thing there that has to move? The 1. 2x minus y equals what? Negative 1. Can everybody do it? It's just moving the equations around, right? Do you have to memorize any of the forms? No, because you're going to get them all. It's going to look like this. There they all are. They're all given to you. You just have to know some stuff. Like that has to be positive and no fractions. Right? Now I helped you out. I said this could be plus or minus. Right? Everybody cool? Okay. Let's see. What form is that in? Point slope. So we are starting with y minus 4 equals 2/3 x plus 2. And I want general form. So what do I have to get rid of here? I got to get rid of the fractions. What else do I got to get rid of? The brackets. Everyone agree? Which one do you want to get rid of first? You want to get rid of the fraction? Okay. How do I get rid of a fraction with 3 on the bottom? I multiply by 3, correct? So if I multiply this whole side by 3, what's going to happen? He asked his grade 10 class, hopefully. Pardon me? The whole fraction will go away? Just the denominator will go away. And what will be left here? 2. Pardon me? 3x? X plus 2. That's it. Does everybody know why that works? I'm concerned when the person in the class that's getting the best mark did that wrong. And then everybody else says they know why it works. Do not write this down. Stop for a moment. 2/3 x plus 2. What math is happening right there? Multiply. What is this technically over? 1. So this is really 2 times x plus 2 over 3 times 1, yes? Which is technically 2x plus 2 all over 3, isn't it? So when I multiply by 3, the 3's cancel, leaving me with just that. The 3 never touches the brackets. Do you all understand that? Okay. So if I multiplied the right side by 3, what do I got to do to the left side? Multiply by 3. What do I get over there now? 3y minus 12 equals 2x plus 2. Now what do I have to get rid of? Brackets. 3y minus 12 equals what? 2x plus 4. Is that general form yet? Almost. Do I have x with a number in front of it? Is that number a fraction? No. Is that number positive? So x is perfect, right? Great. What is wrong then? If I'm leaving x alone, I'm going to leave him right there. Now what has to move? The left side's all got to move to the right side, doesn't it? So what's going to happen with that 3y? It's going to come over here, and it's going to be negative 3y. What's going to happen with that negative 12? It's going to come over here and be positive 12. But there was already 4 there, so what do I got? 16 equals 0. There is general form. Does anybody have any problem with that? Okay, now I cannot stress this enough, ladies and gentlemen. The concept here is really quite simple, isn't it? But there's a lot of potential for mistakes. This is something that is really made easier with practice. Because that's all you're doing. You already know how to do it. There's nothing new. Everybody cool? All right, let's go on to number 12. I want that, which is in point slope form, in all of the others. Does it matter which order you start putting these in? Does it matter? No. Doesn't matter at all, does it? You can go in any order you wish. I personally like to do slope-intercept first, because I already have the slope. Right? But you don't have to. What way do you guys want to go? We just turned a point slope into general form. Do you want to do that again to practice what we just did? Okay. What don't I like about that then if I'm going to general form? I don't like fractions. I don't like brackets. So what do we get rid of first? What do you want to get rid of first? Fraction. Okay, how do I get rid of a 2 on the bottom? Multiply both sides by 2. So I had y plus 3 equals negative 1/2 x minus 1. Now, if I multiply by 2, that's going to take care of the 2, isn't it? But then I'm going to be left with a negative in front of x. Is that okay? Not at the end, but it's okay right now, right? Because to get rid of it, all we do is hop it over the equal sign, yeah? So are we cool with just leaving it there? When I multiply that by 2, what do I do to this side? So what do I get on the left? 2y plus 6 equals. What happens to the 2's on the right? Gone. And I'm going to have negative 1 x minus 1. Now what? Get rid of the brackets. How? Distribute. What does the x become? Negative x. What does the negative 1 become? Positive 1. Are we almost there? What's wrong with that right now? X is negative. Is x allowed to be negative? So where's x going? To this side. And I'm going to have x plus 2y. What happens to this 1? It becomes negative. So 6 minus 1 is 5. Now there is which form? General. I need general, standard, and slope. How do I make that standard? Move the 5. X plus 2y equals negative 5. There's standard. How do I get slope-intercept? What is slope-intercept? Y equals mx plus b. So what do I got to do to this to get y equals mx plus b? Got to get y by itself. X plus 2y plus 5 equals 0. Get y by itself. What moves? You're going to move the 2y. Cool. So x plus 5 equals negative 2y. Now what? Divide what? What by negative 2? Both sides. Negative 2, negative 2, negative 2. So y equals, what's this? It's tricky. Say it loud and proud. What kind of 1/2? Negative 1/2. Well, he reads a book even, ladies and gentlemen. Which book is that? The first one? Is it good? I've never even watched the show. Are the books good? Should I watch the show or read the books? Have you watched the show? I'm not talking to you right now. Have you watched the show? No, but the book is good. You watched the show? Have you read the books?
No.
So how can you be a part of this?
I don't know. Because you said this show, and I'm like, I watched that.
So you watch the show and you say the show is good.
Yeah.
But you haven't read the books.
Nope.
He's read the books and hasn't watched the show.
Yeah.
Has anybody read the books and watched the show? Which do I need to do first? You would read the books first. Has old Martin dude finished the last book? You don't know. Because I've heard the last season, they've made the show, but the book isn't written. Is this true? Yes?
No, there's still one more season.
There's one more season.
Yeah.
But the book isn't made for it yet.
Nope.
I see. So they're going to split it. The guys that make the show are going to possibly screw up what the guy who created the story has done. It's possible.
No.
It's not possible.
No, because I think season 7 came out and the book wasn't finished, but they still made season 7.
Okay?
But I think they're waiting.
They're going to wait for season 8 until the author makes them aware of what's going on in the book.
Yeah.
Deal. Emma.
There's a whole thing of George going around just showing photos of him doing anything else but like pretty much just procrastinating.
Well, of course he's procrastinating. He was once a teenager like you guys. Yes. So, what's this? This is tricky. Negative 5 over 2. Could we graph this? Because that's just negative 2.5, right? We could graph it. And there is slope-intercept. Is everybody good? Great, I'm done. That's the whole unit. Do some work on page 206. Do you want me to do the thing where I tell you the minimum? All right, remember, green is, I would say, do the whole question. All the letters. Blue is sum. Ah!
Wait, green is all of them, right?
Green is all of them.
Oh, gotcha.
Actually, you might as well do all of that. No. Do all of 8A, but only some of 8B. Whoo-hoo, sneaky. I would do either 15 or 16. Some of them. I would do no. I'd do some of them. And that's probably it. Whoops. Okay. Everybody good? Everybody can see what I'm asking you to do? I'll shrink it down a little so you can see it all on one page, hopefully. There you go. And that's that. Tomorrow and the next day, we are going to be doing in-class assignments for marks. All right? It is the end of December, a very long December, to quote the song from Counting Crows. It has been 7 years since I have gone to school, been in school this long in December. Much like you people, I am ready to strangle myself with a piece of tinsel. So, I am not making up any quizzes. I am way beyond that. I am ready to go. So, the next 2 days, instead of doing quizzes, we will be doing assignments from your book for marks in class. We will do one tomorrow, do it, mark it, record it. We will do one Friday, do it, mark it, record it. Then you will have your test when you come back after we review this stuff. Because I assume, Mr. Dietzel, I assume that you do not want to race into a test before we leave. Because I assume you guys are as I am. Okay. We will test when you get back after we spend a day or two reviewing this stuff. Okay? Okay. Go. I will take attendance.